Alright, welcome back to another quick review. I'm outside again. Wow, didn't think this was going to ever happen again. It's because I'm back home for spring break. Spring break just started today, and so I will be, so I am here. But yeah, I'm outside, and today we are talking about another book. This one didn't take me as long as I thought it would. Yay. Today we're talking about Project Hail Mary. And the reason that I wanted to read this book, obviously, is because the movie comes out next week. And I was like, I want to see the difference. I want to know what the difference between the book and the movie is when it comes out. I watched one trailer in theaters. I was told, do not watch any of the other ones. Just read the book or watch the movie blind. And that's what I did. I got the book at a local bookstore, support local bookstores, and I read it. And let me say that I'll say this much to just kind of start in regards to recommendations or just getting recommended this book. I think if you recommend this book to a beginner to reading as a whole, or if you recommend it to somebody who's like a beginner to sci-fi specifically, you say this is a good book to begin sci-fi with, I think you are stupid. I think you're wrong. I would not recommend this book to a beginner of reading or a beginner to sci-fi. That is insane to me. It's insane that people actually do that, because Project Hail Mary is a good book. It's a great book. It's a phenomenal book. I really enjoyed it. I wouldn't call it perfect, but it is a really, really good book, right? The thing about Project Hail Mary, though, that makes it so unapproachable, is that the author Andy Weir, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, is so unapologetic with how much math and science that he puts into the book, where you'll have at times 3 or 4 paragraphs back to back to back where we start like doing like crunching numbers and getting into like biology, chemistry kind of stuff, microbiology, and we start doing extreme science, and I'm like, listen, man, I'm just an English major. I'm an English major because math and science were not for me. I don't I don't understand what's going on. But I think one of the reasons why it worked and why it didn't immediately turn me off the book was the fact that for some reason I just think it's cool seeing people do stuff that they're good at. Like seeing people do stuff that they're good at and excel at doing stuff that they're good at is just a cool thing in general. I'm sorry if you can't hear me. There's way more noise in the area than I thought there was going to be. But yeah, seeing people do stuff that they're good at is really cool, and I really like that. So that's why that didn't hurt. It did turn off for me. But otherwise, we're moving past that part, getting into the actual plot of the book and where the book goes. Oh my God, it is so loud. I think Project Hail Mary is really good. It is a really good book. One thing that I really enjoyed about it was one of the big themes in this book, and one of the things that this book comes back to time after time, is the idea of dealing with your own death and dealing with the fact that you're going to die. And that's something I can relate to. Oh my goodness, I'm trying to make this into like a very emotional moment, or like to talk about this very emotional part of this book, and everything in the background is messing me up. So Project Hail Mary, I think it does a really good job at portraying how to deal with death and dealing with your own death, because that's an issue that I go through. I have a lot of anxiety when it comes to that, and having to push it aside because you know what's going to happen anyway. I really, really like that. Another thing that I could really relate to is the idea of your only friend, or like your only close friend, being somebody you did not expect it to be. Rocky is a great character. I really enjoy Rocky just because Rocky is so different, but also provides such a good dynamic with Ryland Grace, right? And as an individual who I think Grace is like a character that I think I related to the most, one of the most relatable characters I've seen in a little while, just because a lot of the stuff that he goes through, stuff that I go through on my own, or at my own time, whether it be death or it's not having too many friends, because I do have friends. I have friends that I genuinely love and care for dearly, but like being in a situation where you are alone and you have to deal with things by yourself, and then out of nowhere comes this one person that you become really good friends with, and you have to tackle your like what you want to do versus what you have to do. Especially towards the end of the book, tackling, I need to do this. However, I want to do this because this person helped me out. That's something I can really get behind. And I think Grace and Rocky's, like I said, relationship throughout the entirety of the book, or the majority of the book, is really cool. It's really like them getting to understanding each other, understanding their worlds, understanding where they come from, their differences. I think it's really interesting. I think that's the best part of the book. That is the heart and soul of this book, that relationship. And I really hope that I think it will, but I really hope that it translates to the movie, because if that doesn't translate, well, this movie just falls apart. But with the reviews and review scores coming in, I don't think that's going to be a real issue at all. The final thing I really want to talk about, without getting in too deep, because I am going to talk about this again when I see the movie next Thursday, is I wanted to talk about the flashback sequences and how they intertwine into our what's happening in the present day. I think all of that is really cool. I enjoyed the flashback sequences more than I thought I would. I think it's specifically because it comes in at random times, like it comes in at random times depending on what he's remembering, and I love how that kind of intertwines with a twist later in the book. That's really good. I think that's a really good twist that had me like, oh my goodness. So this isn't this was intentional. This isn't just a side effect of being in space and being stuck in a coma for that long. This isn't a side effect. I think that's a really cool twist, and ultimately, like everything flashback related to how we got there, I just think it was really cool. I'm very curious to see how they intertwine that into the movie. This entire review could be quite literally just, I'm interested to see how they translate this into the movie, because it's I think just imagining it in my head, it's really cool. And like I said, I don't think it's a perfect book by any means. I think there are some spots in there where there's either a little bit of a dead spot or a little bit of a spot where I'm like, yeah, I don't buy this. It's a little bit of like a leap in logic, even for me. Like, you're expecting me to believe that the government wouldn't train more than 2 people at a time to go into space. Like, okay, sure, buddy, whatever, right? There's a little bit of a leap of logic there, but overall, I still think the book is, like, really, really good. It's like a 9.5 out of 10, at the very least. It is genuinely great. It is genuinely great. I understand why people love it so much. I wouldn't call it a 5-star. I wouldn't call it perfect, but it is still really, really good. I am very excited to watch this movie when it comes out next week. So, yeah. Thank you for watching. It's been another quick review. See ya. Bye.